You know what time it is when you see me. Get that crack pipe out of your mouths.
I found a crack pipe. So we're gonna hit it. Oh, not with that, but with this.
Let's skip all the pleasantries. Some of you don't like me, some of you do, but let's get straight into business. Now, Bitcoin is doing the same thing that we done right over here. No surprises. I did tell you this time and time again. Some folks, some marketers were calling for lower prices. They were talking about we're heading to 77k, we're heading to 67k, yada yada. I told you very clearly that we will close above the 100 SMA. Did I lie to you? Did I? Now count with me here. This part is tricky for some folks, I know. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weekly candles. Now I said this on a previous episode. Some of you weren't paying attention, and I did say the same thing. It's the same thing that is playing out, ladies and gentlemen. No surprises here. You've been in a bear market. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 weekly candles till our continuation of a bear market. I didn't lie to you. Now, if that changes, I will make sure you all know. If that changes, then we are in a similar setup to 2019. Some folks are comparing 2019 to this cycle here. Now, I don't totally disagree. However, data shows as of now we're showing the same setup in 2022. Most of you have seen this bear market because the same participants over here unfortunately are the same participants over here. The market cap didn't really grow, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, furniture is just being moved back and forth, from this narrative to another narrative, from this narrative to another narrative. A lot of participants, a lot of boltards are gonna scream to the top of their voices and convince you every way possible that we're so back. We are back. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. You know very clearly and very well that, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't work like that. This was my first ever video. I was pitiful, terrible. I had 10 views. 10 views, 8 of them were bots. One of them was just myself, and the other one was one of the OGs. That's it. A bottom is formed when there's no one here, when prices have gone down immensely, and everyone in the room has given up. Everyone has called it dead and buried, where there's no hope, no anything. Now I understand Bitcoin never got its euphoria. It never got its hallelujah moment. It never really got that cherry on top of the pie. It never got it. That doesn't mean anything. We've had cycles before where we go down in apathy. That's no secret. We had this right over here, ladies and gentlemen. No one cared. It went down. XRP also dropped on apathy, and it still went down 80%. In a bear market, Mr. Market doesn't give a fuck if you didn't make any money. We were making money from here and onwards. The participants that saw my video early bought crypto early at $22 for one soul. ADA at 24 cents, XRP at 50 cents, BNB at $200, Ethereum at 1,500, and most of all, Bitcoin at 26,000 US dollars are not here. They're nowhere to be seen. They're living their lives doing other stuff. Crypto bros, unfortunately, have been priced out in silver, gold, SPX, stocks, housing, real estate. Everything's at record highs. Everything is at record highs in search of the leprechaun at the end of the rainbow. And I told you again and again and again, crypto will break, altcoins will break, but you never listened. Bitcoin's at 90k. I can hear them right now. 2026 is going to be the greatest year of crypto. I can hear them right now. And you know what? Insanity is doing the same thing again and again and again, expecting the same results. Ethereum did exactly what we spoke about. It hit the 200 weekly moving average, well, close to it, just like it did right over here. Instead of 200, it hit the 100 moving average. We're going to get to 3,500 or 4k around that mark. and we stayed above this area, like I said, in numerous episodes. Now count with me. I know some of you are slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 weekly candles were above, and we go above the golden support briefly. Likewise, we got to the 200-day moving average. It's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have how many more weeks left? Now it's all fun and games looking at Bitcoin denominated to fiat. We all know that fiat is garbage and is going to zero. On a longer time basis, it goes to zero. We all know that. But let's really compare it to the actual king. The king of everything. Some of you are young and you don't understand about gold. I want to break down a lot of propaganda in this space. I don't care if you're Bitcoin maxi. I don't even care if you're crypto maxi. I'm a profit maxi. In this space, there's an incredible amount of propaganda. And I like to challenge people's propaganda. Gold has superseded every empire, every civilization, every country, every currency on the planet. Bitcoin has only been here for 15 years. As you can see here, Bitcoin actually peaked in December. It never really made durable highs compared to the previous cycle. It formed a double top, a slightly higher high, and ever since has come down. More and more sellers are going to see this chart. Bitcoin has actually been ranging sideways against gold since 2021. You've been wasting your time. Matter of fact, when it actually closes underneath here, more and more sellers will realize that since 2018, it's been ranging. You've just been wasting your time with a riskier asset. You could have chosen gold, sat pretty, ladies and gentlemen, without all the headache, all the volatility, and you could have just sat in gold since 2017.
You need to leave. It's disgusting.
Let's break this bit by bit by bit. This is silver, ladies and gentlemen. And since January 2025, Bitcoin has gone down 68% against silver. Matter of fact, when sellers realize they've been wasting their time since December 2020. And if it really goes down any further, then they will capitulate. They've been wasting their time, taking on more risk, more volatility, when I could have just sat on silver since 2020 and got a nice 7x return. Now, I know most of you don't know me. Yeah, I'm not a marketer, ladies and gentlemen. I'm good at markets and I'm good at charts. Now, a fun fact about me, when I was 16, I actually went to fucking school to study to become an oil trader. So this isn't my first rodeo, ladies and gentlemen. And when it comes to commodities, I do know my fair share. I don't say this to hurt people's feelings. I want to get close to the truth. And Mr. Market, ladies and gentlemen, keeps telling you that you're wrong. Now, I know most participants haven't seen gold behave like this. I know this, but there was a reason why I spoke about this almost a year and a half ago. Gold goes sideways for a very long time. For a very long time. Since 1980 to 2002, Bitcoin literally didn't do much. Yeah, this is the yearly chart now. This is the yearly chart, ladies and gentlemen. Now count with me. Some of you are very slow. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 years of a fucking bull market. 11 years. This is what gold does. Now, right over here, ladies and gentlemen, we've been going sideways since Bitcoin was first introduced. Since 2012, all the way since 2022, gold has literally been moving sideways for a very long time. This is the first time it really broke out. We can see easily another 5-6 more years of gold appreciating upwards. Now, I don't know where the top is, but when gold runs, it shows you who really is the fucking king. When gold goes on a run, everything bows down. Let's not kid ourselves. Now, Bitcoin will have its place. I'm not anti-Bitcoin, but you got to understand, there's a reason why I said gold will be the best performing asset of 2025. I like to break people's misconceptions. There's a lot of dogma out there, a lot of propaganda out there. Now, silver, ladies and gentlemen, has been in a cup and handle for 45 years. for 45 years. And I know there's a lot of Bitcoin maxis or just maxis of whatever sort that don't understand that when you form a cup and handle this big, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this is dubious speculation now. And technically, when a cup and handle is formed, you overlay this part right over here. This is crazy numbers. $500, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'm not saying that we're heading to 500, but technically, guys, we're forming a cup and handle, and that's 40. This is a yearly chart. 45-year-old cup and handle. You do the fucking maths. I'm gonna really drive this home, ladies and gentlemen. Gold divided by SPX at the top, and then we have SPX. Now, if you look right over here, ladies and gentlemen, it marks the top. Look right over here, marks the local top. We made a higher high, and then we headed back down. We marked a high right over here in 2005, 2004. And again, we formed a bottoming process for gold divided by SPX. Let's really address the elephant in the room. Let's really dissect this bit by bit. We've never ever in the history of Bitcoin have we seen the third year be red. Normally we have 1, 2, 3 followed by a red candle. 1, 2, 3 followed by a red. 1, 2. Oh, we have a red. So that means we're going to continue to go up higher. No, it means that participants front ran everything. They front ran the news. So most likely they're going to front run the bear market. Or it could mean that this is going to be a continuation of a bear market. I've seen this all over the web. There's 40-year-old virgins telling folks that the great rotation is going to happen. People are gonna move their gold and silver to losers. Let me explain this to you, and let me explain this very clearly. No one, and I mean no one, sells their gold and silver for internet coins. Participants go down the precious metals. As you can see here, this is the yearly. They go down the risk curve. They buy palladium, uranium, silver, copper, etc., etc. They don't buy internet coins. Let me be very candid and open. Let me explain this as a 10-year-old. I'm gonna dumb this down for some of you bulltards. Your divorced auntie is outperforming your entire crypto portfolio. She holds gold and silver upstairs in her attic. Do you actually think your divorced auntie is going to sell her gold and silver for your internet coins? Do you? Now let's talk about altcoins. This, ladies and gentlemen, is others. This is excluding the top 10. We have very easy setup, very simple and easy setup. We had an inverse head and shoulders during the bear market. Well, most of you weren't here. We had an inverse head and shoulders, very simple. Right over here, we broke it. Now we're forming another head and shoulders, ladies and gentlemen. If it breaks this neckline right over here, ladies and gentlemen, we break down to the lower regions. You buy over here. It's expensive here, and then you buy right over here. Very simple. Let's have some real fun, ladies and gentlemen. It couldn't even make an all-time new high, ladies and gentlemen, on its dollar denomination. It made a double top. Let's compare this with gold. Altcoins compared to gold were already in a bear market. They were in a bear market since March 2024. Formed a double top, and that's all she wrote. That's why I was telling you. I kept on telling you guys, altcoins will break. And now it's forming a double bottom. On the bright news, the volume actually looks good. It actually looks good, surprisingly. I like that. That's good. Showing some strength here. We filled the wick as well. This is good. We could head back right over here, ladies and gentlemen, and retest the 0.56 mark. However, in its entirety, this market has still been in a bear market since 2021 November. Let's really look at the data. Forget people's words. Don't worry about what they say, up, down, sideways. Compared to silver, you wasted your entire time. It's actually making brand new, fresh lows. It never ever made all-time new highs compared to silver. It never ever made all-time new highs since December 2021. It's making brutal lower lows. We're gonna have a meme reversion and then head back down, and then we'll see if this is a continuation or altcoins will show some relative strength. Let's address the real elephant in the room. I know some folks hold this in their pension, they hold this in their 401k, they hold this in their SIP, etc., etc. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the most crowded trade. The most crowded trade. This is American excellence. And I'm going to show you something. I did say previously that we topped. I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again and again and again. I am being slightly premature. I'm waiting for a confirmation. Firstly, to go underneath the golden support, and then on the weekly, which is going to take some time because the distance is massive, to go underneath the golden support on the weekly. And there, ladies and gentlemen, is a confirmed correction or a bear market. We haven't got there yet. We haven't got there. Now I'm going to show you something that is quite poignant and powerful. This is the midterm elections. Now we know Bitcoin on the midterm goes down. We know this. 2014, 2018, 20 whatever. The S&P 500 is pretty much the same. This is as old as time. In January, the very beginning week, we headed downwards, and then we closed negative for that year. We had a correction, and then we continued to go up, and then we had the temper tantrum in October the 1st, and it went down. During that year in 2018, we went down by 22%. Now the elephant in the room, ladies and gentlemen, is the unemployment numbers. Now this is a period of time where we tend to go vertical. We tend to go vertical in this period of time. Now, we're currently at around 4.6% around there. And this is the period, like I said, that we tend to go vertical. There's periods where it's just like a rocket ship, ladies and gentlemen, and the layoffs continue and continue. If you're watching this, maybe some of you will lose your jobs as we speak, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a nice period. This is not a nice period. But for your altcoins, ladies and gentlemen, you need everything to break. Just pray for a meteor to hit the planet, and then maybe you'll get your altcoin season. Now, every time we see a bump, and it goes up, and then we see another bump right over here, and then we see another bump right over here, and it goes parabolic. Every time this happens, this is the stage where we go parabolic. A lot of marketers are going to show you this and say, oh, look how amazing we are. But little do they know, we're actually down for the yearly 90%. Another one, down for the yearly, down for the yearly. We're down massively for the yearly, okay, 70%. But a lot of folks are going to really try to make you fumble the bag. Now, I said this so many times on this channel. I'm not going to show edits of how many times I said this. Every time we enter this area, every time we mean revert to this area, every single time. Altcoins are not going to go up to this area. They're going to have a little yonder around this area and then finally head down to this lower region. Every single time, categorically, we've always ended up at this lower area. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a good period to trade or nibble on some positions. Every time, hands down, is the best period to actually even nibble on something. We're nowhere close to the bottom, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget that. Another major misconception is this, like a major misconception. Every altcoin that you're looking at, every single one of them will never come back. They will never ever make all-time new highs. Now you can make a bucket list and a tier group of whatever fucking shit you're looking at. In the next cycle, ladies and gentlemen, they will never ever make all-time new highs. Now the psychology behind that is there's too many bag holders. There's too many bag holders. I'll give you this for example. Every time, ladies and gentlemen, the chart goes up, there's so many folks that want to sell. I'll give you any historical. Helium for example. Perfect. This is Helium, and ladies and gentlemen, it's never ever came back. It has its moments right over here, had its moment, but it never ever came back, ladies and gentlemen. Matter of fact, it made all-time new lows, historical lows. DOT is the same thing. I can keep going on and on and on. There's too many bag holders. You never ever touch this crap. Never. You never buy old coins because there's so many people that are trapped here. You don't touch it. Matter of fact, they get delisted. They actually get delisted. So there's nowhere where you can actually sell them. This is the actual truth. They make new historical lows, never made all-time highs since 2018. Heard of List before? Remember List? Never ever came back. And this was actually a top 3 cryptocurrency in 2017. It never ever came back. Matter of fact, it never ever even came close to an all-time new high. Let me show you. In 2018, went all the way up to $35. $8. In 2021, went to $8. In 2024, it went to $1.35, and it currently stands at 20 cents. It was actually a top 3 coin. Let's have a look at MadeSafe. MadeSafe coin, I think some of you are very unfamiliar with these coins. We have MadeSafe coin. Was in the top 6, ladies and gentlemen. MadeSafe is right over here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see the price history. Oh, there is no price history. Oh, it got delisted. The only coins that stick around, ladies and gentlemen, is Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some of the top 10. What I simply done in the last cycle, very simple. Bought Bitcoin at the relative lows, Ethereum at the relative lows, Solana at the relative lows, ADA at the relative lows, XRP and BNB. The top 10. Simple as that. Only one of them failed me, and that's ADA. Normally, Bitcoin and Ethereum are the ones that ever come back. Another major misconception. Like a major misconception. You buy altcoins right over here, ladies and gentlemen. You buy them right over here. That's all you do. It's just categoric. Everyone knows this. Every Bitcoin maxi knows this. You ride the Bitcoin train, and then near the latter stage of the market, you offload some of your Bitcoin into some of these stocks, into some of these altcoins that you like. This year, ladies and gentlemen, they didn't. They just didn't. Unfortunately, this year, everyone bought altcoins. Everyone ended up buying altcoins, so they couldn't even rotate into altcoins. You ride the Bitcoin train, you make your portfolio heavily Bitcoin denominated. Then near the relative highs, you take some profits, and then you have fun in wherever coins you want to put your money into. If you rid this train from the very bottom to the top, you made a clean 7x without no headache. With no headache. Altcoins are down 80-90%. There are creators, there are businesses, developers, all of them going bust. All of them are going bust, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin will be here in the next cycle. Ethereum is going to be here in the next cycle. And remember, don't get high on your own supply. Get the crack pipe out your mouth.